In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the United States underwent a dramatic transformation. Railroads stitched the continent together, factories roared with machines, and cities rose from steel and stone. Beneath this progress, however, a small group of men accumulated such immense power that many Americans believed the nation itself was being owned not by its people, but by its richest industrialists. These men came to symbolize an era when wealth translated directly into control. The rise of these powerful figures followed the Civil War, a time when America's economy was rapidly expanding. New technologies, abundant natural resources, and a growing labor force fueled unprecedented growth. Those who mastered production, transportation, and finance gained enormous advantages. Entrepreneurs like John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Cornelius Vanderbilt, and J.P. Morgan did more than build companies. They shaped the very systems on which the nation depended. Railroads were the backbone of this new economy. Cornelius Vanderbilt understood that whoever controlled transportation controlled commerce. By consolidating rail lines and crushing competition, Vanderbilt dictated prices and routes, determining which towns thrived and which faded into obscurity. Farmers and small businesses had little choice but to accept the terms set by railroad magnates. In oil, John D. Rockefeller created a model of corporate dominance. Through Standard Oil, he used secret railroad rebates, aggressive pricing, and strategic buyouts to eliminate rivals. By the 1880s, his company refined the vast majority of America's oil. Supporters praised Rockefeller for bringing efficiency and stability to a chaotic industry. Critics argued he destroyed competition and replaced it with corporate rule. Steel became the foundation of modern America, and Andrew Carnegie was its architect. Using vertical integration, Carnegie controlled every stage of steel production, allowing him to produce cheaply and at massive scale. His steel built bridges, railroads, and skyscrapers, transforming the American landscape. Yet his success came at a human cost. Workers endured dangerous conditions and brutal schedules. When they organized for better treatment, violence often followed. Behind these industrial empires stood powerful financiers. J.P. Morgan wielded influence that extended beyond any single industry. He reorganized companies, stabilized markets, and even intervened during economic crises. At times, Morgan's authority rivaled that of the federal government. His actions could determine the fate of entire industries and millions of livelihoods. As wealth concentrated at the top, inequality deepened. While industrialists lived in lavish mansions, workers crowded into tenements. Child labor was widespread, and workplace injuries were common. Many Americans began to question whether democracy could survive when economic power was so unevenly distributed. Political influence followed economic dominance. Corporations funded campaigns, lobbied lawmakers, and shaped legislation. Regulators often came from the industries they were meant to oversee, weakening oversight. Government, in many cases, acted not as a check on power, but as its partner. Resistance grew. Labor unions organized strikes. Farmers demanded regulation. Journalists known as muckrakers exposed corruption and corporate abuse. Writers like Ida Tarbell revealed how monopolies operated behind closed doors. Turning public opinion against the men who seemed to own America, these pressures led to reform. Antitrust laws were passed to curb monopolies. The Progressive Era introduced labor protections, consumer safety regulations, and stronger government oversight. Presidents like Theodore Roosevelt challenged powerful trusts, signaling that even the wealthiest men were subject to the law. Yet the influence of these men never fully disappeared. Their corporations shaped modern capitalism, and their methods became templates for future business practices. Some industrialists turned to philanthropy, funding libraries, universities, and medical research. Whether these acts redeemed their legacies remains a subject of debate. The story of the men who owned America is not just about wealth, it is about power. It reveals how economic dominance can reshape politics, society, and daily life. Understanding this era helps explain modern debates over inequality, corporate influence, and the limits of capitalism. The question it leaves behind is timeless. Who truly owns a nation, its people, or those who control its wealth?